Most thrillers read like cardboard cutouts duct taped to explosions. Loud? Yeah. But once the smoke clears, you forget all about it. Chad Robichaux's book, Silent Horizons, is not like that. Robichaux has quite the resume. He spent 20 years as a Force Recon Marine, and now he spends all of his time at the keyboard writing these amazing books. In this video, we're going to explore 5 writing tips that authors can learn from Silent Horizons about writing thrillers. Now, writing tip number 1 is authenticity without a security clearance. Now, Robichaux really, he doesn't fake the hardware, but when he makes it to where when you're reading it, you don't have to know everything about the military and the equipment that they use. It's very practical. You don't need to ship to boot camp and experience for yourself. You just need to do your research. So when you're talking about writing a thriller, take your character and choose one job, one specific protocol, or something that your character touches, and research it until you can reassemble it blindfolded. Next, you're going to hand the reader about 10% of all that research. The rest of it stays hidden, like rebar in a slab of concrete. We don't ever see the rebar, but we know it's there holding the slab of concrete up. And so one detail can really help. It can feed you for 3 pages, and the audience will be believing it because of that one detail. Writing tip number 2 is emotional shrapnel. Bullets are just a part. They're not the whole thing. What we really need underneath the bullets that are flying is the emotional journey of your character. Now, in Silent Horizons, Foster Quinn, one of his internal conflicts and internal issues is the relationship that the tenuous relationship with his wife. In fact, his wife doesn't show up to pick him up. I mean, that really elevates the stakes. And one of the things Robichaux does is for every external stake, there's an internal emotional price tag that the character pays. Try this in your thriller. So when you write the next action scene, you're going to ask yourself, who's going to get the bill at home? And then slip that answer into the next scene. It could be a missed anniversary. Maybe it's a missed birthday party, or it could be maybe a trembling coffee mug in a kitchen as she's waiting for news about her husband. Those are all emotional payments that have to be made for that action. And so when you do that and you put those two together, it increases the stakes in both scenes. And writing tip number 3 is pace like a breach clear sequence. So whenever you have action scenes and explosive things happening, you have a certain pacing. So you have the explosive things happening, and then you have where it's very quiet while they're waiting. They're sitting on the stakeout, and it's a silent millisecond. When you want to steal that rhythm for your writing, after a firefight, you want to drop one sentence that explodes in the silence. And this really resonates with readers. So an example of this is in the book Silent Horizons by Chad Robichaux. That's the book. Quinn mutters this line, "I don't remember my kid's first word." Now, that after 3 pages of a gunfight and he's fighting for his life, and then he says that, and it really explodes in the silence after the action. And writing tip number 4, this is a very, very good one, collaboration. Yes, this book, Silent Horizons by Chad Robichaux, was co-written with a man named Jack Stewart, and he was a Top Gun pilot. So these are very professional men. They got together and they zeroed in on this one rifle, is a way you could say that. They zeroed in on creating this book with both of their expertise in mind. Now, if you're writing a book about computer hacking and you're not a hacker, jump on Reddit or jump on a community bulletin board and find someone who has that expertise. Take them to coffee, buy them a cup of coffee and pick their brain. Ask them the question, what never works like the movies, and write it all down and learn from somebody who has the experience that you lack. And writing tip number 5 is faith like a pressure point. So in the book, Silent Horizons, Quinn he's not a sermon. He's a soldier who flinches at church bells because the last time he prayed, there's a hostage that didn't survive. There's an emotional reason for his flinching. If you are writing a thriller and you want the faith aspect to be in there, so I would just say don't use faith as a quick fix or a Band-Aid. When things go wrong for your character, you want their faith to be stretched. You want their faith to challenge them and cause them to think. Make your character grapple with doctrine in real time. An example of this is the fingers on the trigger of the gun, and they've got Psalm 23 looping in their head, and it creates a natural friction between what they're about to do and this mantra of I'm going to be at peace when I walk through the valley. It creates friction, and it creates complexity, and it makes the story resonate. Robichaux proved that you can write a realistic thriller that grabs the reader and touches their soul at the same time. So if you're writing a thriller, take these writing tips and apply them to your writing to add more realistic depth and more faith into your thriller. If you haven't watched our book review of Silent Horizons by Chad Robichaux, I'm going to put this video will be right here. You can check it out. And if you want to support the channel, one way you can do that is to follow the link in the descriptions and grab a copy of Silent Horizons for yourself and get reading today. Now, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which one of these 5 writing tips are you going to use to enhance your writing today? Thanks for watching.